He's an old head.
Youngins are really starting to get on my damn nerves.
He's a purveyor of nonsense. He's a Georgia high school coaching job influencer. His favorite Bible verse is Jesus wept. He's the man of constant sorrow, Chris Lamb.
Yeah.
Welcome to Sun Coaches Podcast, and tonight got a very special guest out of the Atlanta metro area, a very good friend of mine, a head coach at Central Gwinnett High School, Coach Larry Harrell. Thanks for being on with us today, Coach.
Thank you for having me on tonight, Coach.
I told my wife when you were coming on, I said, Coach Harold is the best dressed coach in the state of Georgia. Anywhere we go, it's not even close. She's like, well, we should have stopped and seen him when we were up there today. I said, he's always trying to get me to come to Atlanta to see him, and he knows how much I hate it. And then he just he starts laughing. Like, he starts out serious, but he knows how much I can't stand Atlanta. And we were at Perimeter today because Grayson's appointment was at Children's. It was at 9:30. So when we got done, it was like 10. So we're walking around Perimeter. It's not even open.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are these? This is great. There's nobody here. And, so Maggiano's opened at 11. That's where he wanted to eat because his birthday was Tuesday. But anyway, I'm like, man, I need to tell Coach Harold I can get down with this. There's at 10 o'clock in the morning, Atlanta's all right. there's
and you got to remember, it was a day after the holiday, so a lot of people ain't go to work. So
yeah, I told her that. I said, they're either not at work or they're in Florida, but this is awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Coach, start off by telling us about where you grew up and where you played high school ball and all that kind of good stuff.
Okay. Well, I was raised in New Jersey, different parts of New Jersey, mostly South Jersey, Atlantic City area. Going into my 9th grade year of high school, my mom decided to move us, me and my other 5 siblings, to Alabama. And just for different opportunities and things like that. And it really changed my life, Coach Lamb, because I wasn't playing any sports. Everybody up north tried to play basketball. My big brother tried to play basketball. And my first day in Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, I'm at LaFleur High School, which is a magnet school. And my principal, Mr. Fred Marshall, comes to my classroom. First day of class. And said, hey, son, I need you to come with me. And I'm looking around like, how can I get in trouble? I'm new to this state. I'm new to this area. I'm new to this school. And so we're walking down these long hallways, a big school. And guess where he takes me to? The head coach football's office.
Like we do now.
Exactly. He said, hey, I got this big young man that just enrolled in our school that I think can help you out. And my career went from there, man. Played a little bit of freshman, played a little bit of JV in 10th grade, and then 11th, 12th grade, I got a chance to start varsity. From there, weren't very good. My school is more known for basketball. So, you got Trajan Langdon, DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, we're a big-time basketball school and a band. And so I didn't think I would play after my last game. And that Monday, coach from Alabama State was there, offered me a scholarship, and then other HBCUs offered me. I took several trips, and I decided on the great Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Went there, played under the great Pete Richardson. We were the team of the decade. Won one Black College national championship and 3 SWAC titles. Learned how to win, learned what being a champion was, learned everything I use today. From that program, I still use it today. A lot of philosophies and things. From there, some older guys that were from Southern was at a school called Stroma High School, and it was a low program. We went in there, and they had just went 1-9 and 2-8, and they were really bad. And then my first year went 7-3, and then from there for the next 6 years, Coach Lamb, we became a top 5 program in Louisiana. Should have won a couple of state championships, but came up short.
What city was that near?
So that's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So Stroma High School had Billy Cannon was there. It's a really great historic high school. But if you check with anybody, I mean, in the early 2000s, we really were one of the top programs in the state. I went to, after that, our principal retired, went to Scotlandville High School for 2 more years. And then I got married in 2009, and my wife wasn't really feeling Louisiana, and we moved to the state of Georgia. I was brought up here by the guy who hired me named Troy Jones, who's now the principal at Osborne High School. Worked at Osborne, then they had the RIF situation. So last hire, first fired, I was fired. Going on job interview that whole summer, Coach Lamb, and didn't have a job. And then right before the start of school, got a PE job at Campbell Middle and a football job at Campbell High School under TK Dodd, who's now the OC at Cass. Worked there for him for a year. The next year, I went to Riverdale High School with Alton Downs. In 2011 and 2012, got my first job at Macon County High School. And this will be my 20, I think I'm going to 23 years of coaching, Chris. And I think like 10 years, this will be like my 10th year of being a head coach. So
how was Macon County? I mean, compared to, going from Atlanta to Macon County, that is a huge, was that more, you were in Metro Baton Rouge, Atlanta, and then you go to Macon County. That's pretty rural. That's like 30 minutes from me.
So a funny story. I had been interviewing for jobs, a bunch of jobs. Miller Grove that came open, Morrow. I went on so many interviews, and what I realized was at Metro, man, you have to know somebody. I will always be a finalist. I'd come down the last 2, but they would always go with the candidate, who was from the area. And me not being from Georgia, I just started looking at rural areas. I just needed somebody to give me a chance. And so I started applying for other high schools down south. And my wife's family actually from Savannah. So stayed down there for like a week. And I really enjoyed it. And God just gave me this epiphany, like, you need to be in a small rural town. And actually became beneficial. So when I go on my interview, I was actually waiting for another school to offer me the job. And I got a call from Macon County in April, and I had just applied. I didn't apply for it in February. They didn't call me to April. I had forgot all about it. And so me and my wife were driving back, and we're laughing about, there goes the exit, Montezuma. The Montezuma exit. I was like, yeah. And then they called me that week to interview. So I go down there and interview. Chris, like you say, it's rural. I see hogs on the side of the road, cotton fields. I see corn. It's bad, man. Riding down, I forgot this exit 35. And it got so bad, they got one McDonald's in Middletown. You ever been down there? I pull over at the McDonald's, Chris, and I call my wife and I say, I can't do this. There's no way we can live down here. Like, I'm coming back home. And my wife said, you put that tie back on and you go do a great job. And, you do what you're supposed to do. It's the best thing I ever did. One thing I did my research, probably went in there. Macon County was always a school that was always the great coach that was down there. You know his name.
CB Cornett.
CB Cornett was 98-10 in the 90s. 98-10, Chris. Should have won 4 or 5 more championships, but I always saw that whenever they always had the talent. When they had a good coach, they were pretty good. Bobby Hughes was down there, did a great job. So they were just in a little bit of a dry spell. So they offered me the job, Coach Lamb. Subsequently enough, small town, give you a short story. The small town, when the superintendent hires you, the board can kind of do their own thing. So the board members are comprised of the community members. And they started, lies saying that I was related to her, and they found articles talking about I hadn't really coached before and other things. So I get to the board meeting when I'm supposed to get nominated, and I can tell something's wrong with the superintendent. And she's running around, and I'm like, what's going on? Dr. Midlock was her name, Dr. Carolyn Midlock. And she's like, Coach is going to be all right. We got a little snag. Everything going to be fine. So I get out there. Coach Lamb, my wife is there, my kids are there, my sister came down, my mom was still alive at the time. She came down, and they go to vote for me to be the head coach, and they voted me down 3-2. I'll never forget it, Coach Lamb. The most embarrassing moment of my life. And so they turned me down, and rather than get mad or cuss or whatever, I get up and I shake every board member's hand. And I walk out, and later on at night, Dr. Midlock called me and said, "What you gonna do?" She said, "Coach, you my coach. I'm sticking with you." And I was like surprised because I had just basically put my resignation in at Campbell Middle, said I wasn't coming back, and I had nowhere to go. So April 20th, my wife was being admitted to the hospital, and we're walking, trying to get her before she has to be induced. We're walking around the track. The board secretary calls, "Hey, Coach Harold, the board wants to know if you want to reconsider. We found out some new information, and everything they had been told was a lie. They want you to be the coach." So I said, "Well, they put me on a conference call, and they said, 'Coach, we voted unanimously. We want you to be our coach.'" So they reversed their decision, and I became not only the head coach, but I was the county athletic director for my first job. And when I tell you, it was a tremendous achievement because I'm only 33 years old, Chris. I had never been a head coach before. Couldn't bring in but one coach, which is Kurt Williams. He's the head coach now at Macon County. And it was a doozy. It was a doozy. So the kids had talent, didn't like some of the things they were doing. We changed that up. And in that same year, we went to the playoffs for the first time in like over 10 years. And as you know, 2014, we won the region. We was a top 10 program in the state, and we really built that program up. I had a great staff. I was able to bring more guys in as the year went on. But it was great, man. One thing I can say about the difference between metro and rural kids, just rural kids don't have anything else. It's football or die. And so they don't have malls, they don't have movies, they don't have all of the stress. It's all football to the point where I would literally have to tell the kid, like, go home. You know what I'm saying? Summertime, we've been there since 7 or 8 in the morning. It's 2 or 3 in the afternoon. They still out there wanting to throw the ball. I'm like, go home. So, I mean, we run to the games, and they're looking at the deer stand.
Yeah, they're talking about hunting.
Yeah, they're talking about hunting, and they're not just, what I'm saying, the Caucasian player, but the black player.
Black kids talking about hunting.
Yeah, we're gonna sit in the deer stand at 4 o'clock in the morning, Coach.
And you going, what?
I'm like, it blew my mind. I'm like, wow, these kids are country. We had a big farm down there called Barrington Farm, one of our biggest supporters. The kids, after workouts, to make extra money, they would go break from workouts in the summer and go work at Barrington Farm, covered in milk powder. And it was just a blast, man. It was a blast, and it really taught me how to not only be a head football coach, but an athletic director as well. I was over the youth program. I had to reshape the whole athletic program. And then when I left, we had baseball back again. Our basketball program was real successful. Our volleyball, all our sports were going. And we actually made a lot of money, rejuvenated the whole community and fan base. And it was one of the more enjoyment moments of my life.
Well, that's why I try to tell Metro guys sometimes. They look at me crazy. I'm like, we fight cell phones so bad. And they're like, oh, no, that's everybody. I said, no, you don't understand. With rural kids, that's literally all they have. Like, you can tell kids in the city, hey, man, put your phone up for me so we can do some schoolwork, and they'll be cool with it because, they're like, all right, I'm going to get it out here in a minute when I'm done. Where rural kids, you got to fight with them about it because they ain't got no movies. And most of them, They ain't got no satellite at home. They ain't got nothing. Most of them are very poor.
Yeah.
They ain't got nothing. You take them home, and no wonder they don't want to go home. You feed them better and clothe them better than they get at home. And it ain't nobody's fault. It's just the way it is. Yeah.
And the whole 3 years I was there, we always had kids that actually end up staying with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, they live with me. I had 3 kids staying with me at one time. You know what I'm saying? All the time. You know what I'm saying?
Because you had air.
Always in my refrigerator. Exactly.
And food.
Always in my refrigerator. Always, you know what I'm saying? But they were respectful, babysat the kids, clean the yard. Those kids would need the shirts off their back, Chris.
Oh, yeah. They love you.
They really love hard. They really, they care about you. Once they realize you care about them, they care about you. There's nothing they won't do for you.
Yeah, they might be a little rough around the edges on some things, but when it comes to other things, I wouldn't trade my Middle and South Georgia kids for nothing. And not saying
who You know who I always talk to about that? Me and I hope you don't mind me saying his name. Me and Fabrizio at Lee County. He always asks me, Coach, how is it, from South versus the rural? We always had these conversations, the differences and things we face, and we bounce ideas off each other. And I just tell him all the time, like I love the Metro, more so for my kids, the opportunity it provides them, but just from a football standpoint, I just tell them, man, I miss, when I watch these kids play, how hard they play and just the pride. One thing that we have a big issue of here in Metro is the abundance of transfers. So you typically gonna have a kid that's gonna at least be to 2 to 3 high schools in their career. And whereas, Macon County or when I was at America, stuff like that, where's the kid gonna go? Their great grandmother, their great grandfather, their cousin, everybody goes. So you can't transfer. You can't say, "Oh, well, Coach, you pissed me off, so I'm going to the school 5 minutes down the road." There is no other school. So
yeah, they're gonna stay at grandmama's house, which is exactly 2 streets over.
Exactly. So.
Well, I'm glad you said that about Fabrizio, because your episode is actually going to follow his. So okay. So
that's my guy. I love.
You get to follow the breeze.
Hey, I love him, man. He's runs a great program out in Lee, and he's another funny guy too, as you well know.
Oh,
really funny guy.
And he's another one
really
he's another one that loves hard and plays hard, and but off the field he give you shirt off his back too. So after Macon County, where did you end up?
At the Macon County, they brought in a new superintendent, and I just felt like it was my time to launch out for something bigger. So I got a 6A program in Brunswick High School. Great opportunity. Down by the beach. It was a really great experience. Everybody knows the backstory behind what happened, all that stuff, but I would only talk about the positive things. It was a great place for me, and really had a chance to expand on our career and coach a lot of great players while we were down there as well.
So after Brunswick, you went to, was that when you went to America?
Central Macon. No, Central Macon. Yeah, we're there for about, I stayed the one season, and then Americas came calling, and I went, just a desire to get back from that Macon area to, back to rural area, which I knew, and I knew Americas had a great program, and went to Americas. And unfortunately, I planned on staying a long time, but Coach Lamb, I had always, ever since I was in Louisiana, had dreamed of being a college coach. And one of the guys who played at Macon County named Charlie Jackson, his mom was on the school board. He was a legend, went to Air Force. He had coached in the NFL, and it was saying if he ever got a head coaching job in college, he was going to offer me. So just so happened at the end of that season in Americas, he got a job at Kentucky State, and he offered me it. And I went back and forth about it because I really wanted that American job, but I just felt like I couldn't pass on the opportunity, and I left, and I went to college for about 3 years. I did 2 years during COVID, which I'm glad I did. Lord, I could have been a head coach during COVID, Coach Lamb. Did that, and then in 2021, went to University of Tennessee, so I had a chance to coach in the SEC for a season as well.
Man, that's awesome. So what was the biggest difference? I mean, besides obvious differences, what did you enjoy about the college coaching, and what was something that you were like, nah, I ain't about this?
Well, the biggest thing is it's all football. There's no classes. There's no, it's recruiting, it's football. And then it's easier because you only have, I had a room of 8 players. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And actually, towards the end, I got kind of bored with it because I was so used to being in control of so much, being an AD, and you're in control of, parents and everything like that. Like, you're reduced to just that room. You don't deal with parents. You don't deal with none of that crap. So it became kind of, you know what I'm saying? And then the other thing I missed about high school is you don't interact with the players a lot. Those are grown men. So you meet with them when you meet with them. You may have them at your house and eat or whatever, but you don't have nearly the impact or the interaction that you do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you go to a place like University of Tennessee, they got the weight room staff, they got actual staff that are player development, they got the academic people. So it's so many other people that they see before they ever see you. You really don't get a chance to be in their lives like that. You know what I'm saying? As much as you would like. But like I said, I enjoy the experience. I love traveling, love getting on the plane, you know, pulling straight up to the tarmac and, you know, people loading your bags, staying in the 5-star hotels. You know, the only difference I missed was, you know, it was during COVID, so didn't get a chance to be in the 90, you know, 100,000 seat fans, but just the overall experience, man, it was great. It was great for me to get and kind of just observe other leadership, you know what I'm saying? And really taking a lot of stuff that I use from there now to just reinvent myself as a head football coach.
So when you left Tennessee, that's when you got the opportunity at Central Gwinnett?
No, I went to see the shows. So
in Athens. Okay.
Yeah, Coach Riles needed an offensive coordinator.
That joker is
worked
funny
it out.
to me.
He's funny. He's another funny. I worked for some great head coaches. Worked for him for a season. You know, had a pretty good year offensively and stuff like that. And then the Central Gwinnett job came open, and I really didn't want to necessarily be in the Met, especially not in Gwinnett with all of the schools. But I had some phone calls from some guys and like, man, I think you'd be a good fit over there. Somebody gave the AD my phone number. We talked, and they sold me on the vision. And I ended up, you know, going. This would be my third year going into Central Gwinnett.
The Castle.
The Castle. The
Cool
Castle.
stadium.
Yes, sir.
So third year, Central Gwinnett, been a college coach, been a head coach, had a lot of success as an assistant, early starting out, success as a head coach, been at successful college programs, worked under some great head coaches. What would you say is a common theme in all of that? Like a lot of people talk about building relationships and having great players. What's your opinion on that?
So the thing that I've learned is, like I said early on, when I was coaching Louisiana, I was a single man. So, you know, I spent all my time with the kids, all my time at the school. The thing that I've learned the most, man, is the guys that are family oriented and can get their guys to grow them, to make it a family environment. Those are ones that are successful. I learned so much from Coach Jackson at Kentucky State. He was a guy that by 6:30, everybody had to be out of the office. You had to. I don't want to see you here. Nobody better get on with your family. You know, on Fridays, we had to go in late because he would tell you to take the kids to school and then go take your wife to breakfast and then come in maybe about 10 or 11. And he was all about family. And I just really appreciated him. And his biggest thing was football is still football, no matter what level you're on. So, you know, you get to Tennessee and you're around all these guys that are making, you know, $800,000, $1.5 million, all this stuff. And they're sitting down there blowed because you know what these plays are. It's like, coach, that's power. Coach, that's stretch. Coach, that's counter. I mean, football is football. That's what I learned from him. Like, coach, I don't care if it's the NFL, college, high school, whatever. Plays are just plays. The biggest thing I learned is terminology. And we spend so much time as coaches in the office, we overdo it. But we actually spend that time with our family and building those relationships with our kids. That's what's going to last. When you die, he said, you know, the people that's going to be there are going to be your wife and your kids. And what's the legacy that you want to remember with them? So that always stuck out to me, man. Like, I am so big now on family. At the Castle now, you know, we do a family night where we have the coaches bring their family in, we cater it. They allowed to bring their kids, their family, whatever. We have special bleachers in the end zone where the family can sit and just try to build that team camaraderie, man. And all our wives are excited about it. The coaches, it makes you coach better too, because it lets you know that we really do care about each other. I think the other thing for a good head coach is development. I've been blessed for, like, to say I've only been a head coach, 9 going on 10 years. Several of my guys are head coaches. I know for sure I got 5 and a bunch of others like coordinators and stuff. But so all of my guys that started with their Macon County are now either coordinators or head coaches, which is something that I always hang my hat on or brag on. You know, everywhere I've gone, pretty much my assistants are able to elevate to the head coach or coordinator level. I'm still trying to do that.
That's fantastic. Anytime you can pass the torch or help them out and watch them grow. And usually, you know, when they're young, you can look at him and know he's going to be a good one.
Good one, yes, sir. You know, that Ryan McKenzie I had.
Oh yeah,
and Kurt. I mean, I knew Ryan. I met him at a jail. He was at a jail when I was at Macon County, and he used to always try to talk to me. And I really, in my first year, you know, when you get that first head job.
Well, let me interrupt you for the listeners out there. He said at a jail, not in a jail. At a jail. Ryan's good, real good people.
Yeah. He's a.
He was working at the jail.
Yeah, he was a security. He was a security officer. Yeah. And you know, people are talking to you your first year, and so much stuff is going through your mind that they're talking to you, but you think about the million one other things you gotta do. And he thought I was ignoring him, but I was trying. It was so much stuff in mind. So after seeing me talk, I got him on the staff. He just worked so hard, man. He was a rec league coach at Macon County. And I remember going out there watching 2 days of practice. He was out there by himself, sweating, hollering by himself. Coach Lamb just coaching the heck out of this kid. I was like, he's gonna be good. And he's always stood by me. He followed me all the way to Americas. And then when I went to Kentucky State, got his first chance to be a head coach, and he's been flourishing ever since. So he actually coached big Maris Mims, who now got drafted to the Bengals. So he's also coached a lot of big-time linemen that we've had over the years. Kurt Williams, like I said, went back to Macon County. He's the head coach. He's the head dog over there now. And, you know, he got a beautiful wife, beautiful daughter, and he's the head dog. So, like I said, I'm just proud of my guys from, you know, they were so young. I can remember they were 24 or 25 years old, working under me, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, to now they're head coaches and meeting other men. So it just makes me proud, man, to really see those guys develop and grow. Yeah,
we're going to scrimmage Ryan in our second scrimmage this year. We're going too hard away.
Okay.
Because our head coach, Coach Byram's daddy, he was the head coach at Macon County. At one point in time, years ago. And
I know his son, Brandon.
Yeah, Ryan.
Real good.
Yeah, Ryan used to ride, like when Brandon was little. He remembered his daddy picking Ryan up and taking him to practice and stuff like that. So they kind of, you know, they know each other really well. So,
hey, one thing about working on rural towns, you better be. I tell my kids, you can't coach with me. You can't pick a kid up. I used to drive on a dirt road. And I remember I had an Avalanche with 24s on it. It was a long, I'm serious, a mile-long dirt road where all these kids stayed in the trailer. And I went down there one day in the dark, and my rims were getting beat up. And I told them, hey, be out here at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm picking you up on the edge of this road.
Yeah, down by the road. Be down by the paved road.
Man, and they would be there.
Yes.
They would be there, Coach Lamb. But the thing about it was I felt bad because they would either walk or get somebody to drive them down there. And they were like wild boars and all kind of things running through the cornfields. And I'm like, oh my God! But I was not going to damage my rims driving down that long dirt road.
No, or the other thing you see in rural is they can't find a ride, but then you drop them off to the house, and there's about 9 cars sitting.
9 cars,
and the people sitting on the front porch waving at you. Hey, Coach, what's up?
Thank you, Coach. Yeah,
appreciate you.
Yeah.
What them boys look like?
That's it. Yeah.
And everywhere you go, what them boys looking like, Coach?
What them boys looking like? Yeah. You can't.
can't get away from it.
I know myself. When we used to win a big game, I'd go sit down at the car wash or the barbershop and listen to them talk. But if you had one of them tough losses, man, you kind of
you got to hide
stay in the house.
Yeah, you don't go nowhere. Can't go nowhere. Can't even get gas.
Hey, Coach, what the hell was that call you called last night? I mean, one thing about the people in the country, they know football, Coach. You can't pull one over on them.
No, and they proud.
I remember it was so bad. My first year, we made the playoffs. We went up against Brooks County, which is the number 2 seed in the state. When they had Malcolm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, as the quarterback. And one of the guys told me on Saturday, like, hey, because we probably even make the playoffs, man, don't take our boys down there. Like, y'all get the dog crap beat out of you. I was like, oh, man, for real? Like, even they knew how good it was. We ended up only losing 22-18 with a chance to win the game late. But
I remember that. I was at Early County then. I was at Early County then because we would put on huddle. Like, I put all the stuff in on huddle when I was at Early. And Malcolm would do something. And the play would be, you know, it'd be sprint, flood. And he would sprint and then stop, turn around, run back the other way, jump over 9 people. So I would name the play, You Can't Stop Malcolm.
Malcolm.
Or Malcolm being Malcolm. Like
So
I didn't know
the
what
plan I
name to
came up
play.
with, once I realized what he was doing, that he was more dangerous as a runner, we was a 3-man front. We employed a 4-man front. And all we did was told him to must rush. We had some bigger guys, told him to must rush. And I remember going down there because it was so intimidating. I'll tell somebody about this the other day. We started 9 freshmen that year. 9 freshmen in equipment, and they had that big sledgehammer in the middle of the field.
Oh yeah, Maurice
right
being Coach Freeman being Coach Freeman.
Oh my God. They start standing up. Woo! Down. Oh yeah, they knew the kid's name and it freaked the kids out. Yeah, number 9, we know you just a freshman, we're gonna bust you up tonight. And oh man, my kids had the biggest eyes, but man, they fought. And one thing I can say about those kids is you would tell them, hey, y'all know we're going to play such. Who was that, coach? Like, they don't care. They don't have no fear because they don't know what you're talking about. So like, coach, let's go play them. You know what I'm saying?
That's another difference between them and city kids. They're not seeing them at the mall.
No.
So they don't know. It's like that old Kevin Costner Robin Hood movie when they're like, how many people are there over there? And he tells them like 5. And there's like 100. Yeah. And he's like, well, they can't count.
Yes.
You ain't got to tell them who you're playing because they don't know.
Yes.
They're like, who are they?
And one thing about it was, coach, we only kept 45 players on the team. I mean, we started with about 60, 65. But by the time we got through the summer, we only had 45. And I would take them to the Spalding contact camp twice a year. We would go against, I remember one year we would get Tucker. We were going to get Stockbridge. I mean, you talking about big 5A, 6A programs that were in the state championship. And I mean, we would just hang in there.
Oh, yeah.
We would hang with them. I remember we went to the FCA camp.
Because them kids don't care.
And we played Mill Creek. They don't care.
Yeah,
we played Mill Creek.
They don't know.
And we're banging with this big Shannon Jarvis, the coach at the time. He came and showed me that, coach, man, you got a heck of a team. Because my kids were like, coach, they can't put number 11 out there. They got 120 over the sideline, but only 11 come out there on the field.
Coach, we went last week. We went to Jones County, and Northeast Macon rolled up with them things they got. Beautiful creatures Jeremy's got over there. And I looked over there at our dirty 30, 35, and I was like, oh, God help us. Because we had some out, on vacation or whatever. So anyway, I look over there, and they've just got some creasters. And I was like, oh, God, little baby Jesus in the swaddling clothes. Yeah. Don't let these children. Coach, they're like, who are these guys? And we're like, who are they? They went, they go to the 3rd round. Like, look at them. And they're like, nah, we're going to be all right. And they, it was OTA. They held their own. We go the next Thursday, the 2 days later, we go to Lee County. We see Randolph Clay. Nothing against them. They got some good-looking kids too, but they played against them last year in an OTA, so they knew them. Oh, we acted like we ain't never seen football before. But you take them against people they don't know.
No. Oh, yeah.
They can be they don't care. Who we playing? University of Georgia. Bet.
Yes. Let's bring it.
They don't care. It's amazing. It's a different mentality because they're not going to run into them at the mall.
No.
There's no, I don't know. For people out there that have never been in rural, it's just hard to explain. When you're in Metro, you go to the mall, you're going to see kids in their jackets and, he goes to Mill Creek. I mean, I know with social media now, they know a little bit more, but still, they ain't seeing them people at the one McDonald's in Montezuma.
No. But that's why I say I look at people like my good friend, Coach Rogers, back at TCC, just the pride they got over there, and the Coach Cole at Coffee and the pride over, Coach Strictly, what he does, I've always admired him. We used to play each other at Fitzgerald. We was at Macon County, and we used to always have talks. And just the pride. Like I tell people, on Friday nights, the town literally shuts down. People don't believe it. Like, there's nothing else to do. Everybody's going to be out there. I remember going to Ware County just to watch them, and they won the game, but the fans, I hear a mom and an aunt talking, like, we didn't play like Gators tonight. We didn't play like Gators tonight. We got to play. And it just blew my mind. Like, they weren't talking bashing the coaches. They weren't bashing the river. They said, we got to play like Gators, and just the pride and the expectations, man. But one thing about being out south, and I learned that at Brunswick, there were no expectations at Macon County because they lost for 10 years straight. Going to Brunswick, they was coming off a pretty good run, and the expectation was so high. And then Glenn, when I came in, was, at one of their peaks. That's when they had the guy that's in the NFL now. Oh God! And they went to the state championship that year. So it was like the expectations were high for our program because of what the team across the way was doing.
Oh
And
yeah, the rival.
it's a lot of pressure, man. It's a lot of pressure, man. And you got to. They expect you to win on Friday night. No hands down. They give you the resource. They give you the coach. They give you everything they need, and they expect results. So that's another big big thing. Like here in the Metro, we'll have certain rival games that we know we're going to pack out, but the majority, it's kind of hard to get people out just because, like you said, so much stuff to do. People are working. People are just getting off to that Atlanta traffic that you hate so bad, and I hate even more. And it's just hard to get them out. But there are some games that they will come out. But every game in like you said, in Middle and South Georgia, man, people want to shut that town down. They're going to come out, especially when you win.
Oh, yeah. I tell people, I'm like, look, the thing is, they know when you're good. And when you're good, they expect you to win. When you're not good, they expect them to play hard and represent the community well. And as long as they do that, they ain't gonna. There'll be some that raise Cain, but the majority of the community, as long as them boys play hard and don't show their behinds, they're good. But when you got them, you better get. You
better play them. Oh, you better. Matter of fact, I got a story for you. So the first time we went to the playoffs in 2012, we had to play Taylor County. It was a winner take all. Whoever won got the last seed. And you talking about Taylor County's always had tall, long. I mean, they had the tallest, longest kids, man, and we battled them 7-7. And the way we won was Roquan Smith had a 30-yard interception, a 60-yard interception was how we won the game, 21-7 to make our first play. And I remember the band played, fans were chanting and jumping up. I mean, it was an exciting night right there on y'all's field with that big T in the middle like a hammer. So that's even an exciting venue over there. And Taylor County more known for basketball back in those days, but they've always had great athletes as well, though. Always.
Yeah, it's just a different vibe. So, how did y'all do spring this year?
Yes, sir. We did spring. We played Hillgrove. We're real young this year, man. We lost about 17 seniors, and and we gave up some blustered coverages and things of that nature. But the thing is, the last OTA, man, I'm really proud of my guys for battling the way they did. We did really good at these 7-on-7s. And so we needed that summertime to build off of what we built in the spring. I feel like if we have a good July, we may make a little noise come up here in the fall.
Well, for those that don't know, where exactly is Central Gwinnett? Like, what's the closest? The next, I mean, I know everything's close up there, but like, what's the next closest school? I mean, y'all are dead in the middle.
Middle, so they call it Central. So we want the first 3 high schools to get started. So we're in the middle of Gwinnett County, but we're surrounded by Collins Hill. We're surrounded by Buford. We're surrounded by Mill Creek. Those guys are all in our region, and they won the last 3 state champions as well. We're surrounded by Decula. A school called Discoveries in our region this year. We got some heavy hitters up there, man.
So Decula's south of y'all?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Or southeast?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm just trying to picture in my brain where exactly that is because there's so many high schools in Gwinnett County.
Yes. I think it's like 26. So
man, that's insane. Like 26
high schools. Yeah. Yeah. And all of them, all of us are basically 7-8 or 6-8 schools now, which you're going to have at least 2,500 more kids. So it's not like they don't need the schools. You know what I'm saying? They actually had to open up second year because to relieve some of the pressure of Mill Creek, which had, I think, almost 4,200 kids. So it's a lot of people here in Gwinnett County alone, let alone the Atlanta metro area.
So what, talking about the differences between rural and metro, you being at Macon County in Brunswick and Americus, boys playing football ain't an issue. It's just 90% of the male population is going to play football.
Yeah.
But when you're at a school with 2,500 kids, let's just say that 1,100 of them are boys.
Yeah.
You ain't going to have 900 football players.
No,
So,
you got
the big difference, how do you get those kids in those, metro areas? How do you get those kids that need to be playing out? Like that, your principal took you to the football coach. How do you recruit the halls and get those kids out that need to be playing?
well, one thing we have is we recruit our hallway. So all of our coaches have lunch duty, and we sit on there on lunch. We have 5 lunch shifts, and they'll pull kids and they bring them to me, and I say, hey, take the information, and we try to get them that way. We have a lot of kids in our band. We're a school of the arts, so that's a whole different component, which has their own kids. And you see a lot of big kids. I mean, a lot of 6'3", 6'4" kids in the school of the arts that won't play sports. Our counselors are very good. If we get a kid that registered, they think or says they interested in playing sports, they're gonna call me. Hey, coach, you need to come meet this kid. So we have some stuff built in place to try to alert somebody if there's somebody that's there that we think can help our program. We got to recruit. Kids don't come to our school just for necessarily athletics as much as they do at School of the Arts, but that's what we try to do. We try to recruit our hallway, recruit the lunch shifts, and when new kids come in and roll, our counselors try to alert us to some kids that may be interested in athletics as well.
And Gwinnett, y'all have youth football, right? Like you don't have middle school football. Y'all have got
we don't have middle school football. We got rec league football. So the GFL is one of the more successful leagues. Our school is called the LYA, and LYA is the Lawrenceville Youth Association. So our youth association is pretty good, and they've actually won the last couple of years since I've been there, at least 4 or 5 in the last couple of championships. So they're real successful. Between us, Buford, and Grayson, those are the teams that win the youth championships the most. You know what I'm saying?
So they're like there's a team that's like central.
Yeah. They got our colors. They wear all of the grades wear our colors. They will have a youth night where they all come out. They practice on our field after we practice. We get out at 2:30. They'll actually play what they call their homecoming week. So all the games will be at our place, and we let them play our games there. We just really try to repair the relationships that have been not fostered as much over the past couple of years. I thought we did a pretty good job of that, but we have to do a better job of holding on to our guys and bringing them to Central once they get to the 8th grade. Because what happens, a lot of them get to the 8th grade and then, for various reasons, they decide to go to the high school. So our biggest fight now is just to get them to come to Central once they leave the Lawrenceville Youth Association.
I got you.
That's our biggest battle.
Yeah, I wanted you to share that because, people outside of Metro don't understand no middle school and how the feeder programs
and that's what
work.
I try to tell people. They have a Facebook page, and people always, the Lawrenceville Youth Association wins so many championships. Like I said, Buford translates from their youth all the way to their high school, obviously. Grayson does the same thing. We're the only one that don't translate, and it's because once those kids get to 8th grade and they go to 9th grade, they decide, hey, I want to go to a bigger program. And I understand it because they're winning and they're successful, but, I try to do my best to be in at every game. Actually, I actually moved from Athens because I was staying in Cedar Shoals in Athens because I lived in Cedar Shoals, had a nice house, but we just moved closer. And actually, my sons are going to play in the Lawrenceville Youth Association. So I'm out there every day with them, trying to build relationships, trying to, build relationships with the parents. The biggest thing is the parents. You got to get a hold of the parents, let them see what the vision is for your child, and hopefully they'll decide to stick with us and come to Central.
Well, what's some things in the coaching profession over 23 years that you've seen that's changed as far as, trying to hire coaches and retain coaches? You talked about how proud you were of, seeing your guys when they were young and now they've become head coaches, and some of the new generation of guys now, they're not all terrible.
No.
So
I think the biggest thing with hiring guys that I would say, Coach, is our young guys, for whatever, we're in such a microwave society. I'm sure everybody's going to talk to you about this, but everybody's about 2 things: in my opinion. What my title gonna be, coach, and my money. And when I got into coaching, I didn't know how much I made. I couldn't tell you. I didn't care because, like I tell people to this day, if I didn't have a wife and kid, I wouldn't care how much I made. I just coach because I love it. Like this, I'm one of the few people. My wife tells me all the time she not hates, but she's envious of me because she like, you know what you want to do, you love it, and you will do it for free. And I just love the game. And you get so many people now that do it for other reasons outside of, you know what I'm saying, of seeing, my biggest day is seeing a kid sign a scholarship. Me being a single parent home, 6 kids, getting a scholarship changed my life, Chris. If I didn't go and get a scholarship and go to college, who knows what I'd have been doing? I wouldn't be where I am today. And just by getting in school and see how much a degree was, I've gotten 3 degrees. I've got my master's degree. And then just recently here in the last fall, I got my specialist. So, it's even made me more hunger for thirst and knowledge to try to increase not just my my pay, but to also increase just different ways to attack our kids. Our kids now, a lot of them have ADD or ADHD or whatever, just different ways to catch their attention span. The other thing we have to learn is, football coaches, football somewhere in our top 3, top 4, the God and family, and we want the kids to get that. But these kids, especially in the metro, I mean, football might be in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? So, here we are. We're putting our whole life stock and paying our bills into the outcome of 17, 18-year-olds that don't even have it in our top 10. So it's like, how do you reach them? How do you keep them motivated? How do you keep them together? Another thing is with all this NIL and social media, everything is me, and just trying to push I've always been a team guy, man. If anybody knows me, I've coached a lot of great players. I've coached a lot of guys that have made it to college or SEC or just Power 5 period. Everybody know I coached Raquan Smith, number 8 pick in the 2018 draft, but we were always a family and nobody was bigger than the team. And nowadays, man, with all this NIL and transfer and stuff, everything is so much about my numbers, what I'm doing, and the team concept to me, Chris, has really lost a lot of the old school values that we're used to, man. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of disheartening as a coach because it's like, oh my God, such ain't getting no touches in the last 2, 3. I don't want his mom or his dad or him to get mad at. You know what I'm saying? So it's no longer about the team. And the thing I'm trying to push to our guys is, I'm an offensive guy. So I'm not, in our system, I'm not telling the quarterback, hey, throw the ball here, throw the ball there. It's his decision. Take what defense gives you. And so our offenses are not built for one person to get off. It's not built that way. You know what I'm saying? Is one game they decide, hey, we're going to take this person away, so it might be his game. They might take this person away. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a rotating door. So, we're not about gaudy stats or things of that nature. We're about team winning. And then I feel like winning brings more accolades than anything else.
Absolutely. And like you said, this day and time, selling that to a kid, tall order.
It's hard. It's hard. One thing I can tell you, man, is like dealing with a kid, and I got 1,000,001 Raquan Smith stories, but, he had a big signing day where we had every national news media in Macon County gym that day. I mean, thousands of people were there. And the only reason why he did it was because he wanted more light shown on his teammates. We had 9 kids signed that day. He wanted his other 8 teammates to get the glory. To the point where when college coaches would be lined up to meet him, he would tell them, hey, I got this teammate right here. Won't you look at him? Like, he would help me recruit our other players. And that's so hard to find nowadays, man. And you see that's why he's such a great player. That he is so selfless and I think I pride myself still in trying to push that team concept, but it's just so hard because of the rules that have come in now in college, which is now trickled down to the high school level, and everybody's about me. It's really sad sometimes. And a lot of times, Coach, it's not even the kid as much as it is when they get home, the parent or the guardian or the cousin or the uncle is, man, you should have had more yards, and coaches, you know what I'm saying, not give you the ball enough, or you're not getting enough shine, and you know what I'm saying? So if we can just get that selfishness out, of the game and get back to the purity that we love, man, it would make it so much better.
Oh, there ain't no doubt. I mean, what do we used to say about our 8 hours that we spend with them could be ruined in a 5-minute car ride?
5 minutes. That's it. That's it. That's it. And I'm kind of facetious. I feel like, hey man, I spend more time with you than your uncle does or your auntie. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them come between what we're telling you. Like you said, once you get home, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're a family. There's nobody. I'm not telling any coach or kid, hey, don't let this kid shine or get off. You know what I'm saying? If you're a good player, through the week, you practice, you do the right thing, you play hard, you get good grades, you work hard in the weight room, good things gonna come to you. And I've always believed that, and I continue to believe that. You know, I'm still kind of, you know, you said it earlier, us older cats. You know, I consider myself one of the older guys. And so I still hold on to a lot of those old core values, man. Just talking to, you know, Coach Whitley and Coach Franklin Stevens and those guys, man, it's so hard because the game has changed so much. You know, that we talk about different ways to kind of keep you guys together, keep them motivated. So it's still a struggle, man. Still a struggle.
Yeah, my second coaching job was at Burke County when Nick was the head coach and Franklin was the DC and the offensive line coach. And we used to have a thing at camp called Bonfire. And it was the last night of camp, you know, back when you could do camp, take them off. But we didn't go nowhere because we were already in the country. But anyway, the seniors got to stand up at Bonfire and say whatever they wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
So this was old Frank, like 2001 Frank. So he's sitting there with a toothpick in his mouth, looking like Debo, just staring at him. No expression, nothing. You know, now he smiles a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, them kids softened him up a little bit. So he's sitting there chewing on a toothpick, and every one of them kids stood up. I can't stand that man right there. I hate that man right there. But they followed it up with, but he has made me a better person and a better football player. Coach, he didn't blink. He didn't change his facial expression. He just kept chewing on that toothpick and looking at him like, okay. Because he wasn't going to change.
No.
He was not going to, and he never has. He's not going to change his values because yours aren't where they need to be.
Where they need to be.
And that's one of the things I learned from Franklin was you be you.
That's it.
The kids will adjust. And he set such an example that there was no compromise. You were either going to do it his way, or you could get your stuff, leave his stuff, and you could
you can go
do kick rocks.
And you know, he did a couple of years in the Metro. We talked about that. I was so happy for him when he got a chance to go back to Burke County, because I just feel like he's one of the guys that belong in the rural area, because they can, for the same reason we talked about. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, his parents for him. He understands. You know, he grew up there. I mean, there's nothing. Yeah. And them people in the community ain't going to be able to say nothing to him. He was a superstar there.
Exactly.
And they ain't going to be able to say, you know, you're too, no.
No, exactly.
I grew up in Keysville. I grew up in the country. Mm-hmm. You ain't going to be able to tell me nothing. I know what these kids go through, you know.
That's it.
But,
That's it.
And it's, you know, some of these younger guys, I don't think they got to understand that you got, like you said about the kids at Macon County, once they know you love them, they'll do anything in the world for you.
Oh, anything.
Building relationships with the kids is, to me, it's the most important. You may be the worst coach ever. You may suck at getting the field ready. You may not be able to paint a straight line. You may not know. We can teach you how to block power or defend, you know, FIB, whatever. But if you can't relate to and love on youngins, you in the wrong business.
In the wrong business.
In my opinion.
That's it.
I mean, you can suck at everything else, but if you're really good at that, you can make it in this business.
That's it. And I think you have to, when I say that, I think you have to you have to be able to reinvent yourself. One of the books I'm reading is Disruptive Thinking by T.D. Jakes. And basically just talks about different ways of thinking. He's always talking about, you know, if you don't reinvent yourself, you're going to become like Blockbuster. I don't know about people, but Blockbuster, when I was in Louisiana being single, that was my place. On the weekend, after a long day, whatever.
Oh, you know you old. You talking about Blockbuster don't even exist no more.
Hey, that was my thing. And so when Blockbuster, like you said, didn't evolve, Redbox overtook them. And then when Redbox didn't go to digital, Netflix overtook. So you have to constantly evolve. And so I'm saying all that to say is I've even had to change some of my standards of things that I will hardline not do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I constantly, especially being here at Central, have always questioned, like, am I bending too much? And I always ask my coaches, okay, am I being too, you know what I'm saying?
But not your core stuff.
Because I want to keep my core. I got to keep my core stuff. But
right.
Is it so minute that you can't lose your team or lose, you know what I'm saying, individual?
Well, that comes with us being older. That comes with us being older and daddies. Because there's a lot of stuff now, Coach, at year 30 of coaching, don't bother me like it did at year 7. I look at him and go, look, man, I really ain't got time for this right now. Had one flip out at the OTA the other day, and the head coach, Brandon's, he gets mad, and I'm like, hey, man, I ain't got time for this right now.
Yeah.
He's my left tackle. Y'all can, I can't say nothing because he's the boss man. So I'm looking over the sideline. Hey, dummy number 2, come here.
Yeah.
Coach, he's over there chewing on a mouthpiece. I only know one play. I don't care. Come here, baby. You fixing to learn. Yeah. You fixing to learn a nerding.
Today. That's it.
Line up. Step with your right foot. Get your hat across. Go that way.
Yeah.
And then, was his stance right? Not really. Did he get off the ball like he was supposed to? No. 23 years ago, I'd have had a stroke. 7 days ago, I was patting him on the head, telling him he did a great job. That was fantastic. And I'm looking to the sideline going, is my other one ready yet? Is he done pouting? Get him back out here.
Yeah.
And I didn't say that, and I didn't chew on him. I didn't say nothing. I was just as mad at him. Just as mad at the other one, but I didn't say nothing to him because he was getting blowtorched by it.
That's it. And so one of the things that I did for the first time in my career is, just try to give the kids more. So we had last year, I thought we was going to be pretty good. We had 16 season-ending injuries.
Oh my God.
So we just worked the kids. You talking about ACLs, broken foots, collarbones. I mean, we play in a physical league, Coach. So,
yeah, but 16 season injury, that's
season ending.
They're gonna mash unit.
Yeah. So this year I decided, for the summertime, to kind of pull back. We just go 3 days a week, just Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I used to be a 4-day-a-week guy.
Yeah, that's what we've done.
I actually did it. Yeah, we've actually found the kids to be more fresher when they come in and more excited and more, hey, coach, and we, and so just little stuff like that. Like I said, we still gonna work hard. We still gonna spend our time, but I want those kids to enjoy themselves, enjoy their family. A lot of our kids have to work, for school money and stuff, so they get time to work their jobs. But, just little stuff like that, just tweaking your schedule just a little bit to try to, because my thing is now not to beat them up Monday through Thursday, get them to Friday, which is not a mindset I used to have back in the day. Back in the day, we used to bang. You know that.
Oh,
Monday through Thursday, we used to bang, man. That's what it was.
But, I mean, the game's changed, and kids have changed. And we're, I'm sitting out there at OTA, and I've become I'm either the grumpy old man or the doddering old Mr. Magoo. You just be quiet, old man. Nobody's listening to you. And I'm like, before the dead week that week, it's 100. It was 100 today. And we're out there on that turf, and I'm like, hey, man, I know y'all don't want to hear this, but we've been out here doing this for 2 hours. This is dumb.
Yeah.
These kids, they ain't us. They don't go outside, period.
No.
None. About 45 minutes for them, that's about all they can handle.
Can't handle.
Oh, we got to get them in shape. We got to get, no, you're going to get them dead. What you going to get them?
Well, we used to do, I used to go to Jones County and Spalding. It used to be the 2-day contact camp. Get up. I used to go to Ware. And I'm going to tell you, the Ware contact camp were the most physical. You had Coffee, Camden, Valdosta. I mean,
but coach, it's just a thud.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, Coach Stevens and Coach Dave used to run those, and then first thing was board drills. Man, they blow that whistle, it sound like somebody hit somebody with a bag. Like, oh God, is that kid okay? So
Cannon
up here now, I only do the 1 day camp, get it in for 1 day, you know what I'm saying? And then we start right there for that end of that day week, right before day week, that Thursday, y'all go home, enjoy yourself, watch the film, and then we'll resume. Like, you just can't, I don't think, in my opinion, what I have, our kids, you got to know your kid, everybody different, but just a 2 day thing just don't work for us up here like it would, you know what I'm saying, if I was in the rural area. So it's just hard getting them up and getting them to school.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we used to be at, with other schools, I mean, hell, we'd drive to Ware, we'd stay in the gym at Ware, get up the next day, and, you know what I'm saying, wasn't nothing to be said, but I just think you got to know your audience.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And you definitely know yours, and, man, I can't wait for the audience to hear your journey and where it's taken you thus far, and can't wait to see where it takes you. And I sure do appreciate you coming on and sharing with us, Coach. Man,
I appreciate you for reaching out, man. Give me a chance to come on here and talk a little shop with you a little bit.
Well, Coach, I can't
I'm going to tell y'all something. Let me give you credit. Coach Lamb is the guy that I follow for jobs. And, you know, your name was Mox on, what was the first little thing you used to be on?
The Vent, Georgia Varsity.
The Vent. Oh, Lord. So on the Vent, let me tell you about the Macon County story. I didn't want to apply for the Macon County story because you put on there that was the worst job in Georgia. And I was like, oh, my God.
Well, it was.
It's the worst job. It was this, it was that. And I was like, oh, my God, Mox said don't go there. But what I tell people all the time is you gave out good information based on the people that you talk to. But I say, you know, I tell people all the time, do your own research. He still gives out good information. But if you talk to God, if you have a relationship with God, he tells you to go somewhere. And I know God told me to go there. And it turned out, Coach, to be the best thing I ever did for my career. And we were able to take that, the worst job in Georgia, to one of the best jobs still to this day. You know, just needed the right leadership, the right guidance.
You're right.
Great people down there.
You did your research. You knew that CB Cornett went 98-10 there. They had folks.
They always had kids. Always had kids.
Always
I
will.
tell anybody, if I ever hear somebody say Macon County don't have a kid, I'm going to tell them they are a liar to them. They always got somebody down there. So, you know, just, you know, I always look at your insight on jobs. I don't know if you know this, but for our 8 interview video, I was, what did Mox say? What did Mox say? You know what I'm saying? Then I go to my master and Lord, of course, and then I let him decide if I should go, but it's always get that good intel from you. And I have never called you about a job, have I?
No.
I've never called you about a job, but I do read your reviews. I respect you a lot, man, what you do for the game, what you mean for the game, and what you do for coaches. And that's why I wanted to come on here and spend a little time with you, man, because you one of the good, you want to, every time I see you at the fair that Coach Tinker had, Coach Ahmad Tinker, the Godfather of Georgia.
Oh yeah.
We always shoot shop and spit stories. You want to find those guys. I know, man. I really appreciate you. I really respect what you do for the game.
Well, I sure do appreciate it, Coach, and I appreciate you being on with us, and I can't wait to see what happens with the Central Gwinnett Knights this year. And, you know, if there's anything in the world I can ever do for you, just let me know.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man.